anybody tried the other link? I'm not sure why it was having technical difficulties, so don't know. But I wanted to do this kind of live setup and kind of even go through for some of my other students what you can be doing at home, how to practice, how to get like 30 minutes of practice in or 25 minutes of practice in. Really going to try not to make this a 30-minute video. But just some other things you can be doing to be warming up your voice, your body, getting yourselves ready to sing, and even kind of how you can practice through some of your songs and stuff like that. So just want to start out with a little bit of stretching. So we're going to get up, stand up, stretch yourself out a little bit, and just really thinking about the things that make you or that are tense in you. Obviously, we want to work on like our necks because that has a lot to do with our voice, obviously, as our neck houses our voice. So you want to think about stretching out those muscles. Can really be good for you to do just some easy neck rolls, going back, even just some things as easy as doing shoulder rolls, backwards, forwards, getting out all the tension. I carry a ton of tension in my arms and between my shoulder blades, so I always love this one, getting a little bit of that. And just taking this time to even like thinking about your breathing. So as we go up and over, we're going to breathe in and let that really expand your rib cage. Thinking about that. Come back over, go over to the other side. Take that deep breath in and really think about hear how it goes in and like letting that expand your rib cage and feeling that. And then my favorite is always just a simple little drop. Make sure you don't hit anything, but really relaxing everything else and letting yourself fall forward and get that really easy drop. Now I just came up really fast. Don't do that. I want you to actually drop and then slowly roll yourself up. So you're going to drop down and slowly roll yourself back up. And this is a great way as well, lifting your arms all the way up. Take a deep breath in and set the arms down and give yourself that good posture, that good position for singing, getting your shoulders back and everything nice, really setting yourself up for that good breathing. And one more thing I want to do before I sat down is a lot of students, we've been working on being able to take those quick breaths. So just doing a nice, easy breathing exercise, always just coming back to breath, even though there's a lot of things out there right now of like the 5 minutes. I just saw a commercial of like it being like, be still and calm for like 15 seconds of calmness. And like, we've even like put this on, on TV now that we're going to take these 5 seconds to breathe, just recenter yourself. So doing a breathing exercise, any kind of breathing exercise, all of that is really great for you to set yourself for singing, be ready for that. So thinking about getting your breath way deep and breathing into your tummy. So I want to think about breathing into my hand, do that nice and slow, and then let it out. And then do it quick. So I want to think about how do I get in those quick breaths. So many times we can do it at the beginning of the song. We're great. We get all the breath in. But as our song goes and it's fast or, we're doing lots of words or there's lots of things and there's just not a lot of time to breathe in there. And we're taking all these quick breaths. Our quick breaths tend to go and we're not actually filling ourselves all the way back up. So making sure that you get the same amount of breath that you got at the beginning, get that all the way through. So breathe in and then exhale. Go into the same place quick. So I want to do that and then once you get that quick breath, it also tightens my abs. So I want to think super quick and then really keep that tight so that that's my go-to is my abs are still tight. I haven't just immediately, I'm not immediately releasing it, but I'm immediately getting it and then holding it in there. So do it one more time. Relax, exhale, think nice and deep, really slow. And exhale. And then go in quick and hold it. Yeah, good. So you want to keep those abs tight kind of the whole time that we're doing this. So I had a lovely, lovely girl ask a question about giving tips for belting. So I'll probably do another video that's like really focused hard on belting and stuff like that. But I wanted to do a little bit of how we warm that up and the importance of warming up to the way that you're going to sing. So whatever song it is that you're doing, that's what you want to warm up for, right? So there's some basic warm-ups that we all do or that we do just to kind of start and get our voices going. And get our voices going, which is why we do, like I usually start with lip buzzes or humming. So we're going to do that today. We're going to start with this little lip buzz and hum. And I want to think about, I'm working my chords to get them just closing, doing right. Again, thinking about my breathing. Lip buzzes are great because they make you, if you can do them, do understand that not everybody can do them. And it's kind of an issue. So I always tell people, if you can't do the lip buzz, just switch to humming and it's fine. The lip buzz helps me relax a little bit more. So it's a little easier for me to start straining when I'm humming than it is for me to strain when I'm lip buzzing. So, so those are the kinds of things to watch for if you have an issue with straining or with pushing up too much, muscling up, as we call it. If you have an issue with that, lip buzzers are great. This is why I do them all the time, because those are my issues. So thinking about, we're going to start at the top. I think we did this last week of starting at the top and come down, but then we're going to also go back up. So I want to go, and again, so you see my lip buzz went away. If it does, just keep going. And I'm just going to hum it, right? So don't fret about it or whatever. If it helps, sometimes it helps to use your fingers. And it keeps it going. So thinking about this nice deep breath. Wherever you feel like it needs to start switching, let it switch. Just let your voice kind of go and do what it wants to do. I find I can do a little bit more with fuller chord closure or bring up a little bit more chest mix when I'm doing lip buzz because I'm more relaxed. Without like killing myself. If it's already switching and you're going into that lighter head voice, it's great. No big deal. Make sure that you are also then coming down. Like let it switch. Even if it's a hard, even if it does that, I don't care. I want it to switch. We're working through. This is why we're doing it. We're going to switch down. We're going to switch back up. Eventually that will happen, but we wanted to make sure that we're working that switch. Back and forth. So all the way, both ways. I'm going to do just one more. that's a good range for you, awesome. I do always say right now I'm kind of keeping it a little bit basic. If you need to stretch or want to stretch, those are things to do too. Like stretch your range a little bit past what you even can do or think you can do, so that you are just continuing to stretch it. It's kind of the same thing they do when you're stretching out, like at a dance class or at your yoga class, and they go, okay, breathe in and then lean into that stretch just a little bit more. So when you're warming up and practicing, you do want to go a little bit below. And again, especially for specific songs, I always warm up one note, at least one note past the lowest note and the highest note that I have to sing in a particular song. So if you're warming up for something specific, it really is important that you know kind of the range of the song or what you have to do and what you are, what kind of voice or style that you are trying to sing. So that's what I want to work today is a little bit. We're going to work on kind of a little bit more. How am I going to warm up my belt versus how am I going to warm up if I'm singing what I term like pretty songs, or more classical or whatever. So for a lot of my students, we're working too on this like dynamics. How do I sing the same place, soft versus loud, or a more pretty style versus a more belty style? Like what's the difference in that? So we're going to work right now on warming up kind of the belt. And I want to get this real whiny, like very, very nasty. So we're going to do this. We're going to go, no, 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 like you're a 2-year-old. That's the way it works, honestly. I know it sounds terrible right now, but I promise it will sound better later. So work on that, getting that, no, no, no. No, no, no. Oh, I forgot to do both octaves. Sorry. No, no, no. No, no, no. Now I'm really keeping it kind of nasally as I go forward and as I go down, right? So I want to think down, forward, and not just backwards. So I'm not doing no, 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 where that goes right back into my throat. I want to keep that no, 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 like right up in there. I do understand that right now it sounds way more nasally than I want to sing, but it's more about me having control over being able to get into that spot and into that forwardness so that when I need it, I can do it. No, no, no. Also note that I want to really drop my jaw when I open. No, no, no. No, no, no. So I'm using that real whine to kind of find that spot and be able to get there and then drop your jaw to round it out a little bit. No, no, no. 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 Notice that about here, it almost sounds like I'm saying N-Y-O, no, sometimes I am. So sometimes it's a little easier to get a little, like to make that real, it's kind of like a mouse sound. Very, very bright and ugly. But this is what we do for belting, I promise. One more. Now, obviously, you can hear even in my voice, right? I'm not bringing up chest voice all the way up there. That's cray-cray. So I'm mixing, I'm going through that and having a mixy belt. But there's definitely a difference between singing this, like even this E, which is the top note for one of my girls, her songs. There's a difference in me singing no and having that big, pretty kind of sound and no where that is like really bright, that's where you get kind of that beltier sound. Obviously that's not super belting. But that's still that more belty mix. And another thing I do want to point out as we go through this, especially right now, this is really just warm up. So I'm not like killing myself. I'm not pushing it, but I am starting to get there and we're moving that direction. And I am going to cover this like way more in another thing, but I want everybody to always remember, I just think I'm going to say it in every video that I ever do, is that your voice is your voice and it's not going to sound like my voice. So don't try and make it. I'm not talking about like, I don't want you to try and emulate the sounds that I'm making. One of the best things that I ever had a teacher say to me was that I was doing an audition or working for with an audition piece, and the piece itself said mixed belt on this top E here. And because they didn't want it to have, they weren't wanting that kind of sound. So they wrote on it mixed belt. And the teacher, I went in and talked to him, and the best thing he ever said was, okay, what does mixed belt sound like for you on that note? And I was like, oh my gosh, like it can in fact sound different for me than it does for somebody else. That is still me mixed belting on that note, even if it doesn't sound like a Dina Menzel. Like we all think that we should be able to belt, you know, Let It Go, or now the new one is Into the Unknown. Oh my gosh, I love that song. That we want to be able to belt these big songs and like sing it like that and sound like that. It may not ever sound like that in your voice. So what a belt sounds like for you may be different than what a belt sounds like for me. And that's okay. Like really accepting and understanding how your voice works and getting the best sound out of your voice is really what we're going for here. So I want you to think about it's more the feel and what it feels like than what it sounds like. And again, part of that is because sometimes it's going to sound terrible when we are warming up. So none of these videos are me sounding great. They're all going to sound like trash for a while. But a lot of times when we're belting, we're going to have to actually go up. So we did that going down, and now I want to go back and we're going to go up this time. So you're going to find that no, no, no. If it's easier, you can keep on the note. No, 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 no. Sometimes it's easier to keep that spot there. So I'm going to kind of switch back and forth. And I want you to really just find where that forwardness goes. How do I keep it moving forward all the way through this break? No, no, no. 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 So now right about here, sorry, I just cut that off really fast. Right about here is where most of us are going around our break area-ish. We're kind of getting into that. Notice that it's a lot more stretchy. I'm not straining. I'm not doing that. I want to really kind of keep that stretch happening here, and it's always going forward. So I'm not trying to, no, no, no. That's like gonna hurt me belt, and that's not what I want. So I want to find no, no, no. Notice now if I back it off just a little bit and don't make it quite so obnoxious, it's where I get into my actual belt. No, no, no. Like that's about more where I am a little more balanced. It doesn't sound quite so trashy. But again, to get there, and every so often, I'm going to have to go a little bit more forward. I want to get used to what does it feel like to go that whiny. No, no, no. And really stretch my chords there. So that's really what's going to give you that belt. Then as you are going, you're going to change the shape of your mouth. The vowels that you're saying, vowels are super important to what you're doing. We're working on an easier to kind of keep here. So continuing. No, no, no. No, here, mine's going to shift. I'm going to shift into more of a like a head mixy or kind of whatever you want to call it, but it's more of a mix. Now I'm not full on, I'm letting that change happen. No, no, no. 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 And now I went pretty. So it's because I can't really belt enough. So unless I really try. But today I'm not going to. We're just going to keep going. No, no, no. No, no, no. Because now we're high enough that I don't feel like I need to be belting. But that's a way that you can kind of warm up and keeping it. The more you can get it forward, the more you're going to kind of have that belty sound, and it's going to stay healthy rather than you trying to jet everything up with your throat. So watch that you're not shifting your neck up, that we're keeping our chin down, that we're not muscling and straining and trying to like shove things up. Anytime you feel that it starts to lock up, re-breathe, like you stopped breathing. I don't know. Breathe again and kind of open. Think about that, like more of a yawny feel back there, and let it get a little bit more stretched than shoving. So I hope that helps, just even on a warm-up sense. But I want you to think about sometimes too, we'll take the things that, whatever song it is that you're doing. So this is how we work in a lesson, which is why this is difficult for me, because there's not a person that I'm working with who's doing a song. Maybe next time I'll actually pick a song and just do it, because normally what I would do is whatever song you're working, we're going to work that vowel and we're going to work that, that passageway. So, for instance, my last student that I just had was doing When He Sees Me. And so that vowel that she has to do is it's almost always A. And there's this little line up in there. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. So one of them is the end up a miserable life, where she's doing that. So that's a great little kind of belty. I'm belting-ish if I want. But I'm going to find, first of all, I need to know those notes. I need to know where it's coming from, right? The note that I have to hit is a C. No, no. So I'm going to do it sometimes on like a no. No, no. No, no. Like, where is the words that she has to say is wife. Wife. So I want to get that. It's very whiny, if you feel that. But I'm not trying to go wah, with my throat. Wah. It's very, very forward. Again, that's why we do this no. So I might take that whole line. The actual line is, I could end up a miserable life. So I might take that and do it all in no. No, 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 no. So I might like do that. Again, I got a little thing. So I'm going to do it again because I didn't do it right. No, 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 no. And I want to really like, no, no. Find that whiny, right? So then I'm going to put it to the words, which kind of stinks, because this particular one ends on miserable, which anytime you have an L, you want to honestly ignore it. You want to just get rid of it. I want to put a vowel in between there. So I'm saying bull, bull, instead of bull. No more L, because otherwise I'm going to go bull, and it's going to jump me. Bull wife. I want that nice and open. Really thinking about the words that you say when you're belting is probably like the most important thing to do. But I also want to be able to do that if I'm doing it pretty. So if I wanted to, I could end up a miserable life. Be able to do that. So it's important that you can do both things. And I would warm up a little bit differently if I'm going to do it that way. Or I would go through it a little bit differently. I might hit on a no, 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 no. I'm going to still find that, but it'd be nice and open. no, rather than no, and have that different sound. So, yeah, those are the kind of like tweaks and things. And when you're going to, so when we warmed up just like normal. And then I'm going to hit that. What is the vowel? What is the like notes that are coming before? Huge. What's the particular line that you're having to work on? See if you can create like your own warm-ups. A lot of times I have another video on here of that's the Beauty and the Beast, and the warm-up that I do for Beauty and the Beast is just that line of bittersweet and strange, like, because everything does that. So I'm gonna na 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 na, like find these little places, whatever it is that's hard or challenging. It's not even hard, challenging in your song. Find that little section, take it out, do that just as your warm-ups. Do it on a vowel, do it on whatever consonant maybe it has to have, or closing, whatever is challenging. Add that into your warm-ups so that by the time you get to it in the song, you're not having to think about it anymore. Your voice is just already warmed up. It's already ready to do it. And you can just kind of jump in to singing and really let the emotion come out and go forward. And that would be the last thing I would say is, for sure, especially with belting, if it doesn't come from a real honest place of emotion, it just sounds loud. Like, it just sounds like you're doing it loud. It's got to have that something behind it. Why are you being loud? Why is it more emphasized than something else? And I think that's what's so key. Again, even going back to not comparing, is that it means something different to every person. So just because the original artist, or, you know, you heard somebody else belt it and you like it, that doesn't mean that that's necessarily the story that you want to tell. So make sure when you're doing these things that it really is coming from a place of true emotion, because that's going to help you get the right breath support and even kind of putting it in the right place, right? Like, singing those things, it's got to come from that place and sound real. That's the whole point of it. It's got to sound real, and that people are really know that you're really connecting authentically with what you're singing. So yeah, there you go. There's a quick little belting warm up if you want to do some belting, and hope that helps.